At the Beverly J. Robinson Community Culture Program's Family Day celebration. Today is the culmination of 5 weeks of a lot of hard work by 21 incredible young people that we had the honor of working with this summer. All of the teenagers that are here today were part of an interview process. This is the first year that we had a waiting list of over 15 young people who wanted to come to the program. So the fact that these young people made it into the program says a lot about their character and their personalities and the way that they conducted themselves in the interview. Every summer we work with 20 to 22 children, young people from 14 to 21, and this is the only program in MindBuilders Creative Arts Center that's totally based on research and learning interviewing skills, learning how to handle media, and field work, which is going out not only on trips that we did to museums, but we also did community walks to learn about our community and about our heritage through the people that live here. Everybody here was responsible this summer for writing blogs, writing down their interviews, researching for all the interviews that they did. We interviewed 7 artists. 3 of them we invited back today. You'll meet them in a little while. And so it's an honor for us to culminate today and to have all of you here. Part of this process is going to be interactive, that we'll be asking you to, if you have any questions when we present our guests. And also today, at the end of this evening, we'll culminate with a certificate of completion ceremony, acknowledging the hard work that these young people have put in. So today's program was developed by the interns, and they'll be sharing with you in a little while. They'll share also a little bit about their experience. And to start us off, we have our 2 MCs, Master of Ceremonies for today, Precious and Philip.
Welcome, my name is Precious, and welcome to Folk Culture Presentation wearing our troupe. Anybody from Bronx? Brooklyn? Queens? Manhattan?
Yeah!
Uptown? That's good.
I'm Philip. This summer at MindBuilders Folk Culture program was full of cultural experiences where we got to learn new things, meet new people, and go new places. So now, let me introduce you to 2 interns who will talk to you about our experiences at the African burial ground, Amaya and Xavier. Xavier.
Oh. Wait, what did he say? No, not you. That Xavier.
Hi, I'm Xavier Cutts.
Hi, and my name is Maya Dennis.
Over this summer, we had the opportunity to visit the African burial ground. It's the resting place to up to 15,000 Africans, some enslaved, some not.
The design of the exhibit is centered around the whole point of the exhibit, the death and the burial of the Africans. So in the center is like 2 caskets, like one for a little baby and like one for an adult, and they're having like a ceremony in the middle, like a makeshift ceremony. I thought the experience was really nice. Like it's down on Broadway, so like you guys can go if you want and stuff. It's worth taking a trip down there.
And it's free.
Yeah.
Next up, I will call on Ivana and Jeannie, who will talk about one of the artisans that we had a pleasure of interviewing, Faith.
Hello, how are you doing? My name is Jeannie. And my name is Ivana. One of the artists that we interviewed this summer was Eddie Sakasa, aka Faith. Faith was born in Brooklyn, New York, and then moved to the Bronx at the age of 8. He started off with graffiti on the trains with his older brother and his childhood friend. It was actually his childhood friend that gave him his first airbrush. After that first airbrush, he started to design t-shirts. His first customer was his mother. As a young adult, he had 7 stores at 7 different locations.
He went through many hardships and ended up with only 1 store. He worked with well-known artists known as Playboi Carti, Flavor Flav, Wiz Khalifa, and LL Cool J.
He now lives in Los Angeles, where he has a store in Hollywood. Thank you.
Now I would like to call to the stage Cameron and Adriana, who will introduce our first guest of the night, Fumi Gideon.
I'm Cameron.
I'm Adriana.
Fumi Gideon is a Nigerian dressmaker who was taught to sew by one of her neighbors. Now she currently resides in New York.
Tonight she'll be discussing her life in Nigeria, the good and bad that comes with it. Introducing Fumi Gideon.
Sure. My name is Oluwa Fumilayo. Let me call it Ifo Gideon. I'm from Nigeria. I'm a dressmaker. Like I told you earlier on, good evening, our parents. It's nice meeting you and it's nice having you here. I started at the age of 12 years old. When I was little, I left the house. Maybe after school, I went to a lady. I think she's outside on the streets. So I do go to her place to, just to have fun because I was very small. I always go there. Then when I get back home, I'm going to get lashes because I was supposed to be having some homework at home. But I never give up my my talents because I noticed that I have a talent in that. After which, anytime I go there, when I get back home, my dad is going to say, "Oh, you're a lady. You're supposed to be in the kitchen helping your mom." That's what we do in Nigeria. As a girl child, you have to start helping your mom in the kitchen. So, but when along the line, I think he noticed that I have interest in it. When I was the age of 14, he took me to register officially. So I started learning all through when I was in high school and I went to college. When I get to college, I made a lot of dresses. I made a lot of clothes for both male and female. One good thing about me is that I never learned the male one. I never learned that, I just developed interest in that. I only learned from my master. I only learned the female one, which was my focus. But along the line, I noticed I have interest in making dresses for men too. So I go into that. I practicing on my own. Whenever I have my younger ones at home, my siblings, I take them. I have like 3 boys. I make dresses for them. I make top and pants for them. I keep trying. I make mistakes, but I keep trying, like over and over and over. But this is what I'm having today. I have like 2 male dresses, 2 male tops, top and pants for African men. These are what we wear for occasions. We wear them for wedding, like party, birthday party, or maybe child christening. That's what men wear to the occasions. But I have for females. I have a top, a sleeveless one hand and a flare hand and a sleeveless hand with a top. It is a top and pant. We don't have a place to put the pant, and I have a dresses. And I have some dresses, but there's no place to hang them, so I just have a few. So this is dress for occasion like wedding, special occasion like wedding, birthday party, and so. So this is what I do in Nigeria. When I was in college, I do a lot. I was in student area, which helped me a lot. Because, I made everything, jeans, corduroy, anything, I made all of them. So when I graduated from my college, I went to youth service. When I was 7, my local inspector always, he had me, when I told him I make clothes, he has interest in me. So whenever we are on break, he's going to give me some work that's come, you have to do this and this for him. At times he would just tell me, come on, you can go back to, because I was far, I stay in Lagos and I was posted to Port Harcourt to have my youth service. So whenever he told me that, he has some work for me, I have to move down to Lagos and do it, and I go back. And afterwards, this is what I was doing before I migrated to US. I have a store because I live in the upper part of Lagos State. I have a store, but when you come here, you're just on your own. So, and it's been crazy, African people, they love to make clothes. And this is the season I make a lot. I'm very, very busy. I have a lot of both male and female customers that I work for. And these are just few of my work, and I just have a lot of them. I make clothes for kids, but it's been so healthy, but I don't want to go into that because I don't have anybody to help, and I have 2 kids. So that's why I just focus on, adults only. So this is what I can say about myself for now. Thank you so much.
Now, I would like to open up the floor to some Q&A. Yes.
I have my own fabric.
Yeah.
How would you come up with the style?
No, at times I design it. I think of the style that it depends on your fabric. When I have the fabric, then I know what to do with it. Yeah.
Anyone else? Nate?
What type of fabric do you use?
Yeah, we have different fabrics, but basically I work with African fabrics. Yeah, basically I work with African fabrics. These are African fabrics, and that's what I work with.
Anyone else? Thank you.
Now, some of our interns will talk about their experiences this summer. Calling on Talia and Malaysia.
Hello, I'm Malaysia.
Hi, I'm Talia. And George, Malaysia, and I attended a college seminar at the new school on 14th Street, specifically pertaining to fashion and justice. In this class, we basically learned about fashion throughout history and the reason behind it.
During the seminar, we talked about cultural appropriation in today's fashion. For those who do not know, cultural appropriation is the use of elements from one culture used by members of another culture. For years, big name brands have took elements from cultures that they didn't even want wearing their clothes and portrayed them as their own.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, introducing Sonny Blessing, an African hairstylist, are Dominique and Iblis.
Hi, I'm Dominique Esper.
I'm Iblis Palu. Sonny Blessing is a Nigerian hair braider that's been braiding professionally since 1998. She started when she was 15 and she learned from her mother.
She used her braiding skills to help her get through college, along with her other skills, such as cooking, designing, and sewing. She even designed and sewed her own wedding dress. But braiding is her passion because it lets her express her creativity and the joy it brings her clients. Thank you.
Now, I call on Nina and Gabrielle, who will introduce Jalissa.
Hi guys, I'm Nina. Hi, and I'm Gabrielle. Jalissa Rodriguez was born in Bronx, New York, with an older artistic brother that inspired her and supported her throughout her career despite her family's wishes.
Her first tattoo was a loaf of bread on her best friend, and now she has her own clothing line and tattoo business.
Introducing Jalissa Rodriguez.
Hi everyone, my name is Jalissa Lee Rodriguez. I also go by the name of Jar. I was classically trained in realism from the age of 9 in Dominican Republic. I come from Dominican and Haitian background. All my life I've been doing art. In college, I then went to study graphic design along with body painting, which then transferred into tattooing. I had the privilege of studying under celebrity tattoo artist Bang Bang, who is responsible for tattooing Rihanna, Justin Bieber, and Miley Cyrus. After 2 years of being with him, I ended up breaking off and starting my own business. So now I tattoo myself. And I also have my brand. I do clothes. I also have accessories and things like that. So some of the things that we spoke about with the kids was the tattoo setup, basically how it looks, what a proper setup looks like, cross-contamination, things that you should look out for. We also discussed being a queer woman of color in the industry, the hardships that you have to endure, and certain things that you have to deal with when it comes to opening your own business. And that's about it.
Now, if anybody has any questions for Jalissa, now is the time to ask. Any questions?
You spoke about the hardship that women experience in opening their own business. Could you probably just give us a little bit of insight into what kind of hardship are you talking about?
So basically, when it comes to the tattoo culture, it's very tight-knit. It's ran mainly by white males. So back then, a lot of women, to get ahead, would have to either sleep their way through, or would have to like give a demeanor of, you know, just having like a hard exterior and act a certain way in order to get respected. So some of the hardships that I've dealt with is I have to constantly prove myself. I have to constantly prove that I do know what I'm talking about. I've been doing research, making sure that I talk to lawyers, just making sure that I know my rights as an entrepreneur, just so that no one takes advantage of me. And that's one thing I always like to stress to other people. Just make sure that you're educated in whatever you choose to do.
Any other questions? No?
What's the best tattoo that you
The best tattoo? I would have to say it was the Indian chief that I did on this client. Her grandfather was actually one of the last chiefmen of the tribe that had died, and it was such a beautiful experience because of the story that she told me behind it, how much it meant to her, and it just felt, overall, the whole thing just felt like a very spiritual experience and was very heartfelt.
Okay, what is your favorite part about tattooing? What is your favorite part about tattooing other people?
Well, my favorite part, the way I view tattooing is not just marking the skin. I see it as a form of healing. So my favorite part is just seeing the clients that I get to heal every day and seeing their reaction, seeing how good they feel about themselves after, and just how happy they are when they leave my studio.
Okay, thank you.
Now I would like to call to the stage Naeem and Evan, who will speak about the Casita project and Los Planes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Evan Berry.
My name is Naeem Salam, and I'll be sharing some information on La Casita. So Jacob Riis used photography to expose bad living conditions to get the government's attention. And in those days, the immigrants were forced into Ellis Island because of nativism. Nativism led to people creating casitas where people could enjoy themselves from the same culture and express themselves too. Many Puerto Ricans meet at the casita to play music, eat, and fellowship with other people. The casitas had different names because they were systematic.
And I'll be talking about Los Planeros. Los Planeros de la 21 are a group of artists who specialize in different types of music. The type of music that they play refers to the African diaspora. The African diaspora refers to the communities throughout the world that have resulted by descent from the movement in the historic times of peoples from Africa. One type of music they play was bamba, which refers to the act of re-remembering, which refers to your origin. The 5 main rhythms of bamba are sika, kwembe, holende, jupa, and ses corrido. One thing that they do is called a call and response. One person would sing and the others would repeat. Another thing that is included in bamba is dancing. Call and response also refers to dancing. The drummer must follow the movements of the dancer with rhythm. Thank you very much.
Now, some of our interns will continue to talk about their experiences this summer. Calling on Nathaniel and Kevin.
My name is Kevin Vasquez. My name is Nathaniel Ascona, and we recently visited the Museum of the American Indian, in which we learned how the museum uses our modern-day fashion in the old American Indian lifestyle as a way to represent social justice and other conflicts. The exhibit we visited was the Native Fashion Show, in which they featured designers who traversed cross-cultural boundaries through creative expression.
The exhibit showcased works by Native American designers. Among the objects on display were shoes, clothing, and jewelry. One interesting piece was a pouch made from the designer brand Louis Vuitton.
Thank you.
And now, speaking about our experiences with Siaka Bamba are Nathaniel Floyd and Malaysia.
My name is Nathaniel.
My name is Malaysia.
Siaka Bamba is a hip hop artist who was born and raised in Bronx, NY. At the age of 18, he started experimenting with words, which led him to advance in his craft. Siaka Bamba wants to be an independent artist who has more control over what he wants to say. In his songs, he mostly talks about social justice and the black community.
Siaka's music ties in with social justice, like Nathaniel said, and other important messages. Siaka prefers not to be called a rapper because he feels that rappers today do not send the right message to our youth. Siaka believes that any and everything could be an inspiration for his music. Thank you.
Now, I will call on Jihad, who will introduce one of our guests, Herbert Williams.
Sorry, everybody, just gotta step out from the background. Thank you, everybody. My name is Jihad Abdul-Sabor.
Oh, yeah.
You guys may not remember, but I had the honor and pleasure of interviewing Herbert Williams back in 2015. I don't know if none of the interns were there for that long. That just says how old I am here. Well, it's whatever. Herbert Williams is a Wari master, also, but you guys may know it as Mangala. Mangala has different names, comes from all around the world. It is a very old name. But he first started learning Wari when he was in the Caribbean, and he found two men playing Wari, and he was like, I want to learn some of that. So he sat down and grew in love with it. And now he teaches Wari to kids in community centers and playgrounds all over the world. Not all over the world, but it's whatever. Please introducing Herbert Williams.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here one more time. My name is Cuthbert Williams. I want to make one correction. I am not a grandmaster at this game. Right? I like to play it. I like to play Wari, but not a grandmaster. So, could I see the hands of those who know Mancala? Okay. Do you know anybody? Can I see the hands of those who know Wari? Nobody knows Wari, but most people know Mancala. Now, I presently selling water boards in Harlem on 125th Street, and I would hear people pass by and they say, "Oh, that's a big Mancala board," and I would say, "Come, let me teach you something. Let me convert you from Mancala, because Mancala really is for children." Mancala was introduced in America here back in the 60s. But Wari, a more advanced version of the game, was introduced in Harlem or in America back in the 20s. But for some reason, everybody now knows Mancala. But I'm making serious efforts to transform the Mancala into Wari. So I don't know if I may get a chance to explain the difference between Mancala and Wari. Personally, I think that Mancala, there is very little strategy involved. It's like you just keep going around. You can just, I tell people, I can close my eyes and play Mancala. Wari, on the other hand, you have to pretend like you're God looking at the entire world. You have to see everything. You have to count what's on your opponent's side. You have to count what's on your side. All Europe plays Abapa, which is Wari, similar to Wari. Yes, the entire Europe plays Abapa. I met this woman from Switzerland, and she's saying that she learned this game in her math class when she was a child, not Mancala. I don't know why. America actually took on to Mancala and not to, I would say it's like lowering the passing grade so that everybody could pass. That's what I think Mancala really is. So I don't know if I get the opportunity to explain.
Yeah, absolutely. You can explain what you have. Yeah.
Okay, you want to go?
Yeah. Go ahead. Philip, you want to come out there, please? Thank you. Philip, you might have to wait a minute.
Okay, Mancala and Wari start with the same amount of seeds, 48 seeds in 12 houses. I call them 12 houses of the zodiac. And so here we have it, like 48 seeds. Everybody can see? Right. Okay. So in Mancala, you keep going, you play, right? Like so, and you go around like this, and then you keep going and going. To me, there isn't much strategy involved in this. It's like a hit and miss situation. Wari, on the other hand, is far more intense than Mancala. Some people think it's just as intense as playing chess, but I don't know about that. They say the mathematicians also claim that there are about 500 million possible moves in Wari, which makes it, to me, a very intense game. What happens now in how you play Wari? To make a play, you would take all the seeds up. This is my opponent playing. You take all the seeds up, or let me play first then. I would take all the seeds up, and I place only one seed in the next house, and one in the next, one in the next, and one in the next. If you notice, I skipped this, like in Mancala, you would play here. In Wari, or Abapa, which is the best version of the game, you play one. You place one in each consecutive house going in a counterclockwise direction, right? And then the opponent, you alternate the play, like the opponent will probably do something similar, like so. Now, how do you capture? The object of the game in Wari is to capture 25 seeds on the opponent's side. Now, how do you capture 25 seeds on your, let's say, I will play. Let's say I play this. Now what happens here is that you have a single seed here, and this is a vulnerable seed. So the opponent can actually capture the seed. How does the opponent capture the seed? When they play, they have to count, you have to keep counting. You have 5 here, 5, and you have 5 here. 5, when you play, you place 1 in the next house, 1, 1, 1, 1. And the last drop, if it makes 2 or 3 on the opponent's side, that's a capture. I have the instructions, the ABAPA instructions from the Owari Society, and this is what it says here concerning it. ABAPA, meaning the proper version, literally translated from the Twi language spoken by the Akan of Ghana, the good stone. This version has been traditionally played by adults and used for competition. So that is the difference. Now you can also multiple capture in Wari or Ababa. And what I've discovered recently is that there is a lot of philosophy involved even in this game, because it's claimed that this game is actually the oldest game known to human. So whoever actually taught mankind this game must have been thinking very deep. And there is also compassion in the game also, because you cannot wipe out your opponent. You're not allowed to wipe out your opponent. Right. So any questions? I'll be very happy to ask. Oh, I didn't even talk about how I make them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So making a worry board, and I'm not a very good business person. I might probably have to get some ideas from you. They say artists don't make very good business people, but I don't know. Okay. To construct a worry board, sometimes there's a lot of mistakes that you might make. The first thing, you get the length of the board, and then you find the center. And then you find the center of the length and the center of the width, and then you have to come up with do some geometry. Right?
You want me to hold it up for you? So you can...
Yes. You do some geometry, and then you get the circles. You have to have your compass and so on. And these are called gouges, and they're pretty expensive. But I get some. Most of these gouges are these are Swiss-made gouges. When I was in Antigua, I used to use gouges and make worry boards, and it was very distressing, because I did not know that one of the most important things in doing carving is to have sharp tools. I learned later that is very, very important. So right now what I do, I look around and find books. And this is one of the books that I found, The Perfect Edge. Very important that you get sharp tools, and you have to keep sharpening them. Now, let me give you a chance. Let me give you some ideas of how I do this. Now, if I'm going to, after marking your boards out, and you get a solid table, I don't think this is very solid for that, and you have to make sure you have it firm, have the board firm. It's very important that it's firm. And of course, put on your goggles, which I don't. I don't do, but I don't recommend. I recommend that whenever you do these things, you use your safety goggles, And this is your mallet. And I don't know if I can demonstrate, right?
Yeah, very briefly.
Yeah, briefly. Demonstrate. You make you hit your something like this inside until you go around until you end up with. Let me see this other one.
this one. Okay? And then this is when the carving, this is roughing out. This is roughing out the work. And then this part now this is where the carving actually starts. The carving, you use a bigger sweep. If you notice, this is straighter and this is curved. This is the one you use for carving. Very important. What I do, I make sure I keep both hands on the tool. In that way, if you're gonna cut anybody, it's not you. You cut someone else. So you keep both hands on the tools, and then you do the carving. And the best way to really learn carving is for you to do it yourself. Very, very important. You go ahead and do it. I never got any training. I never got any training in this. I never went to this. I never liked art when I was in school, and I found that after school, this is when I am into art. I just obsessed with this thing now. I make hundreds of boards. My intention is to make 1 million boards. So it's going to take me a few lifetimes, maybe. Now, and I've learned so much being on the street. I'm at 125th Street, and people would come up and one of the first things, I say, what do you call this game? And they will tell me, Ayo? What do you call it, sister?
Ayo.
You call it Ayo? Yes. So I can tell you from Yoruba, from Nigeria.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Sometimes I boast up and say, tell me what you call this game. And they will tell me, and I will say, okay, you're from so. Say, how did you know that? Because I'm listening, I'm learning all the time on the streets. Yes. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Do we have a question for Mr. Williams in the back?
Nathaniel?
Yeah, there's a question in the back. Then Nathaniel will get you.
How long does it usually take a person to learn how to play this game?
You can learn it. You can learn to play this game in 2 minutes. But to master it might take you 2 lifetimes.
Later on today, Mr. Williams will be here playing, and if anybody wants to learn, he'll give you a quick lesson. Nathaniel, you had a question?
How long does it take to make the board?
Well, it depends on how much sleep I get the night before and how I feel, you know what I mean? Yes, sometimes when I was in Antigua, it used to take maybe like 2 hours to do one. Now, to rough out one, it might take me 2 hours in Antigua. Now I time myself sometimes, and I can rough it out in 25 minutes. Yeah.
Mr. Williams' pieces are all unique and one of a kind. I met him getting off the train, and I saw him with all his boards, and we started a conversation, and we've been friends for like 2 or 3 years now.
Yes.
So this is an incredible artisan in our community. He's at 125th, right?
125th, yes.
So you also know where to find him, and please, come up to him and share with him. Madonna, you had a question for us?
Is there a particular board you've made that you're particularly proud of? I heard you say that you roughed them out in 25 minutes, but then are there others that you give other time to, more time to, and how are they different?
Oh yeah, roughing out is different than actually do the carving. You rough out first, and then the carving now is, you have to take your time. And I don't know if I've ever finished the board. I always think that I can always put some added work to it, But yesterday I met this counselor, and I asked her, what do you counsel? And she said she counsels people. So I said, can you give me some counsel? And she said, the first thing you need to do with this thing, because I have a table like this, and I have all my boards. She said, the first thing you need to do is to finish a few boards first. Finish them first. Finish 6 boards. And then you can actually say, put those on the table, and then continue doing. But I think I'm a very poor businessman and probably need some good counseling concerning business, But I have a love for this work. I'm getting a lot of attention on 125th Street. People come up and they want to take pictures with me, and they want to take pictures of the game and they want to learn the game, and I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
Is there any special kind of wood that you use for the boards, or can any wood do?
This is mahogany. This is mahogany. This is a very, very expensive wood. This is Honduras mahogany. The price is very high. And I also use the American poplar. The American poplar. I go up at Westchester and I find I don't go to Home Depot. Home Depot don't have what I want. But I go to Westchester. There's a lumber yard in Westchester, Condon Lumber, and I get my my poplar and mahogany from there. Sometimes I can meet some very, very hard poplar wood. But I know what type of wood. I look for the green poplar. Whenever I find a green poplar, I say, yes, that's it. So sometimes I might spend a whole day searching through the lumber yard to make sure I find the right wood, because I want it to be easy.
Any other questions?
Do you also sell these games online?
Oh yeah, you sell on eBay, but the problem with eBay is, like I said, remember I'm not too organized. I have to be packaging and so on. so I don't sell much on eBay anymore. But I do sell.
Thank you.
That's what I wanted to ask you about the boards sale, and do you do different designs
Oh
or
yes.
all one color?
Let me see, I have one here. This one is a mahogany one. And this is a custom made one, and I had to do the amp with with the name of husband and wife. Yeah, it's Kelsey and Steven. Let me.
I know that we create a lot of stuff, and a lot of the things come like from us. Has there been any like Europeans like trying to come and make versions of our game?
Well, to me, it's the people's game, you know. And it doesn't matter whether you're European or African, you know. It belongs to humanity, right? It belongs to humanity. I've met Swiss people who tell me that they learned this game when in their math class when they were kids, you know. Another thing I wanted to say about husband and wife. In Ghana, the tradition, the legend goes that the first man and woman who played the game, in order to play the game longer, they got married. So the word for this game in Ghana, among the Akan people, is Owari. And the word for marriage is Owari. I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you. All of Mr. Williams' pieces are one of a kind. Every time I see him, he has a different piece. So his work is all unique. Thank you very much, Mr. Williams.
Thank you.
Now we will introduce two of our program directors, George and Stephanie.
How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody feeling? Good. Can I have a round of applause for our presenters? So this has been an amazing summer with our interns, some new, so it's been quite an experience meeting the new people as well. We just want to say thank you for also teaching us during the summer, and we always close out by celebrating foodways. And foodways is basically the intersection of food in culture, tradition, and through history. So how many of you guys, like, when you think of food, like, from home, how many of you guys think of, like, that dish, like that savory dish that comes from, like, your grandmother's hands or your mom's hands from back home, even if they're not here? Show of hands. Can I have an example of something like that? Something that reminds you of home, like a food from your culture? Nina.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese, yes. Mac and cheese is a good one. Adrian? Rice and peas. Rice and peas. And what culture would you say is that's from? I know there's different interpretations with different cultures, but what kind is it from where you're from? Jamaica. Jamaica. Okay. Anybody else? Dominique.
Saltfish.
Saltfish. Saltfish. And somebody else in the back? Yes? Plantains, yes, and the different ways to make that. That's one of my favorites. Adrian? Oxtail, yeah, oxtail is amazing. All right, so we're gonna close up by doing that, but I'm gonna move it over to George.
Yeah, I'm hearing a few stomachs grumbling there, hearing all that food. And I just want to thank all the parents for letting your children come here this summer and participate with us, and for sharing your food with us tonight. Watching everybody come in with these plates and the smell, and for us this is really important and significant because this is about community and about sharing, and food is always a way to celebrate and to share. But to close us off, I would like to ask our executive director, Madam Kinsilam, just to come and say a few words. She was running around trying to get the food to bring in to share with us today. So she wasn't able to greet you when we started, so I'd like to give it a moment.
Thank you. And again, we can thank our artists, artisans, the students, Stephanie and George, and all of you who contributed this food as well. I want to also mention that we're hoping to have Mr. Williams out here when we close off the street for our Open House Street Festival on Saturday, September 16th. So pass the word if people will want to learn to play or if they want to buy some of the games. We're looking for Mr. Williams to share the knowledge, share the wisdom. Thank you all. We're going to be taking some pictures too. Part of what we're doing as a research partner with the Smithsonian Museum in Washington is looking at what we wear, how we adorn ourselves, the clothing, t-shirts, hats, jewelry, what they mean to us. So we're going to be asking as you're going downstairs and up here to let us take some pictures of some of the things. Fade, I want a picture of that hat you got on, stay sucker free, things like that that you have, so that we can continue that research about the diaspora and people of African descent, how we dress, how we style, and the statements that we're making as well. Thank you all. Please pass the word about September 16th. Tours of the building, free performances, the street is closed off, games, free ride kind of thing, rock climbing and all of that. So do pass the word and we'll give out some cards for you to, oh, and the talent show. And we have a talent contest with cash prizes for ages 8 to 21. So find out some more about that. There's an audition next Saturday from 1 to 4 and August 30th also. Thank you all. Let's give a hand.
What we have to do now for the food ways.
Okay. Hi guys.